Fear of failure isn't really fear of failing. It's fear of feeling shame or other negative emotions like disappointment or discouragement. Think about it. If you tried something, failed, and nobody ever knew, no judgment, no shame, would you still be as scared? Probably not. That's why most of the time when we say, I'm afraid of failing, what we really mean is, I'm afraid of being seen as a failure or feeling like a loser. When I thought about starting this YouTube channel to reach out more people and share valuable insights with the world, fear hit me hard. And it wasn't just about putting myself out there online. I had this thought, what will people think? What if I embarrass myself? And what if nobody watches this? And if I fail? The truth is, I wasn't afraid of creating videos. I was afraid of the shame I imagined feeling, the judgment, the whispers, the who does she think she is? That fear almost kept me stuck until I got coaching on it by my coach. But here's what I realized. Failure wasn't the real problem. Believing failure meant something about me, something bad, that was the problem. Most people believe failure means I'm not good enough, I'm not capable, I'm not worthy. But here's the truth. Failure doesn't mean anything about you. We make it mean whatever we want. Failure is data. Failure is feedback. Failure is proof that you tried something new. It only becomes painful when you attach it to your identity. When you go from, this didn't work, I will try something else, to, I'm a failure. That's the lie fear of failure is telling you. So how do you break free? Here are 3 steps that will completely shift the way you see failure. Step 1, separate the event from the identity. When something doesn't work, your brain loves to generalize. You mess up a presentation and suddenly the thought is, I'm terrible at speaking, or people will think I'm not good. You apply for a new job, you get an interview, but don't get the offer. You think, I'll never have a successful career. I'm making this video to remind you that failure is not a verdict on who you are. It's simply feedback on what you did and how to iterate next time. Do more of the same thing or do something different. Think of it like cooking. If you try a recipe and it burns, does that mean you're a bad person? I know it's ridiculous, but it's the same. No, it just means that the oven was too hot, or maybe you left it too long in the oven. Failure is neutral. It's just, I tried something, it didn't work this time. That doesn't mean you are inadequate or fundamentally incapable of doing it. Step 2, reframe failure as progress. Every failure is a proof that you were in the arena, fighting, because the only people who never fail are the ones who never try. When you fail, it proves you're playing the game. It proves you're stretching, experimenting, growing, and that you have courage. Think about this example in the personal development world we hear all the time. A child learning to walk. They fall over and over again, but nobody looks at them and says, wow, this kid is such a failure. We see failing as part of the process of learning. Plus, I recently learned that it's exactly the fact that the child gets up every time. That's what makes him stronger. He builds his muscles that way, which ultimately allows him to walk. And in our school system, we learned that failing is not a good thing. And there were some right answers out there. So naturally, as adults, we decided failing meant we weren't good enough. Failure is still learning. Failure is still progress. So the next time something doesn't work, remind yourself, this isn't proof that I can't do it. It's proof that I'm learning how to do it. Step 3, focus on the process, not the verdict. Fear of failure grows when all your attention is on the final result. What if I don't get that promotion? What if nobody buys? What if this real estate investment doesn't work out? But outcomes are never fully in our control. The only thing you can truly control is the process. Showing up, putting in the reps, taking the next step. And here's the irony. When you stop obsessing over the verdict and start trusting the process, success becomes inevitable. It's like going to the gym, my favorite example. If you focus only on the number on the scale every morning, you'll quit out of frustration. But if you focus on the daily process, lifting the weights, eating the food, tracking the progress, the results will come. The same is true in business, in relationships, and in life. The process compounds. The verdict takes care of itself. Okay, let's think about other examples. If a client says no, it's not that I'm a bad consultant. I'll think instead, that proposal didn't land. What can I adjust? If a launch flops, I force myself to not think, I'm not cut out for this. Instead, I'll think intentionally, that strategy didn't work. Now I know what not to repeat. Or if you mess up in a meeting, don't say to yourself, I'm incompetent. Instead, it's just a learning moment. Next time, I'll do better. Failure is tuition. It's the price you pay to grow. And tuition is never wasted. When I finally decided to expand my coaching business to YouTube, I still had that fear again. But instead of asking, what if I fail and everybody judges me? I started asking myself, what if I never try and end up judging myself? That shift changed everything for me because I realized the only opinion I live with for the rest of my life is mine. And even if I did fail, I'd rather fail trying to build the life I wanted than succeed in staying small for someone else's approval. So here's what I want you to remember. Fear of failure isn't really fear of failing. It's fear of shame. But shame is just a story. Failure doesn't define you. It makes you stronger. Separate the result from your identity. Reframe failure as progress. Focus on the process, not the verdict. Do that, and failure stops being a weight that holds you back and starts being the fuel that carries you forward. And now, if you want to learn how to stop attaching your worth to outcomes and start building unshakable self-trust, watch this next video right here.